Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Rave. Of course, this is the book review segment where we look at works of budding authors, creatives, and the likes. Today on the book review segment, a young man has decided to take us through what I describe as an autobiography of all of his escapades and, dealings in the Far East during his NYSC days, and decided to put that in a book to give us an insight of what the scheme is all about, of course, and that also led him to self-realization. Join me to make welcome Joseph Adeleke. He's an author of the book titled Down the East, a graduate of English and Literature from the University of Lagos, a storyteller, a filmmaker, a personal development coach, and a whole lot more. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning.
Nice having you here.
It's very nice being here.
Interesting. Now, I mean, this really is apt. When I was going through the book, is really apt, especially at this point in time where the whole lot of noise concerning the essence of the NYSC scheme. That's serving the country Nigeria. Now, before we go into the book, do you subscribe to that the scrapping of the NYSC scheme, and why?
No, I do not. I think it's an experience that everyone needs to have. I believe that once one choose this NYSC scheme and experience it without redeploying, you're going to have something different. It takes you out of your comfort zone. It's going to stretch you. It has stretched me, and I knew what I passed through while I was there, and a whole lot of new habits that I've gotten to learn.
Interesting. So for you, it's a no on the scrapping issue. No. Well, I mean, they will tell you that the essence of the NYSC is to enable a Nigerian youth to acquire the spirit of self-reliance, aside the whole integration, thing that it all came with. But years down the line, from your own very self and your experience, do you think it has outlived its purpose, or it's really serving its purpose in the first place?
To that aspect of it, I don't think so. I just think the reason of why the NYSC was created has been destabilized of like, and the purpose has been strengthened. So I think it's now left to that core member going there should know what he or she is going there for. So if you are relying on the government to follow the purpose of why they created it, you might not get it. So you just go there and go to discover yourself and experience something.
So now let's talk about the book, Down the East. Tell us about it.
Okay, so Down the East is more like a memoir. It was written to let people know what I went through while I was serving in Abia State. And I felt that there were several lessons that I learned while I was there. Learned lessons in business, interpersonal relationship, communication skills, and all the things that I learned while serving in Abia State. And it's a very good experience for me. That's why I put it down for every other person to enjoy.
Interesting. You talked about in your introductory statement where you said that if you're posted to serve and you do not even think about redeploying, it might pay off at the end of the day. But you tried to redeploy.
Yes.
You were born in Lagos, bred in Lagos, schooled in Lagos, and you were posted somewhere else, and you still wanted to come back to Lagos. Why do we have things like that?
Why it happened to me that way was because I just started my studio in my Ikorodu, and I was only thinking about the business part of it. So it was God's, I think the whole essence of this NYSC for me was God's plan. So I wanted to, at that time, I wanted to serve under Sandra Ikeji, that's Linda Ikeji's younger sister, because I knew her through an agency and all those kind of things. So I already spoke to her.
Had it all planned out, Lagos boy, everything.
Yeah, so I already planned how my NYSC whole thing was going to go. So I wanted to learn a business skill and all those kind of things. But when I moved down the east to Abia State, I figured out that there were a whole lot of Igbo people around, and what this typical Igbo person is thinking is business. So it was more like God wanted me not to learn from just one person, but several other persons that I can learn from. So it was God's plan for me.
But let's talk about what some young people do even till tomorrow. I mean, trying to pay their way into redeployment. You did, and you paid 120,000 naira.
I did that.
Last, Abba was his portion. I mean, at what point you were annoyed, you were paranoid, even your brother and everything. You felt that the guy was a fraud. Thanks to the fact that you even got a refund. Some people never got their refund.
Yes.
You know. At what point did you begin to see that? Okay, let me just. Yoruba would say "yeking bakam" and just go ahead. At what point within the service did you now say, all right, let's just let go and continue? Because you still struggled. You still thought it would work.
Yes.
At the end of the day, just let it go.
Yes. So I came back for my service, and only for me to. This man already told me to wait. So I waited. And normally I should have registered at my PPA immediately after camping. But I didn't do that. I came back to Lagos. So the time was running out. It was running out, and I could not just wait anymore. So I had to leave back to Abia State. It was frustrating. Really? I felt frustrated, actually. But I realized that if there was nothing I could do, than to just...
Fine. Talking about getting frustrated, and you got help from strangers, people you never knew. I don't know if it's, I mean, these days that people are even afraid to talk to people, but you got help, and people were just so nice to you. I mean, I know as a Christian, you might not want to leave out the God aspect, but these are Nigerians, and these are typical of what some Nigerians would do, having to see someone that is a stranger and help. What impression did you have about the Igbos before service, and how did this change your impression about them?
Oh, I felt they were evil people. I felt they were terrible, and that was because of the Nollywood movies that I've seen while growing up, because it's always this terrible mother-in-law and all those kind of things. So I just felt that they were those kind of people. But when I got closer to them, and I had many of them around me, they were so kind. They were so kind. They were opposite of all the things that I thought of them. And I feel that it's the same thing for every other person. When you judge people, prejudge people for
what you've seen.
Yes, you are.
I mean, as a storyteller, talk about the essence of storytelling, how we can change some of this mindset that people already have about certain people, about even our country, because sometimes what we put out there on social media is what the Western world make of us. So how do people like you that are into the business of storytelling and creatives help change all of these narratives for the better, especially now that our country is facing a whole lot of unrest as a result of people wanting to go their separate ways?
I think it's going to be a collective effort by the authors and writers and all those literary people to change the narrative. When you see American writers and all those people, they put good things about their countries in their movies. The old love for their countries, how they are going to die for their countries and all this kind of thing. If we try to idolize the country, we know that things can be terrible, can be so bad, but we just look for the
strike a balance.
Yes.
All right, so tell us about the self-realization. Tell us, I mean, the public speaker you knew that came out as a result of all of the things you learned there, and how it bettered your camera in me school. So take us through the experience.
Okay, so I had when you read through the book, there was a gate man at my lodge, and he's very poor, terribly poor, and he had a home, he had a house in the village at that time, and his wife was staying there. He was staying in the city.
His own house, and you call him poor?
Yes, it's more like all this inherited things. So I don't think.
Okay, he owned it.
Yeah, so he didn't own it like that. So, and some people came to Robert's apartment and they didn't find anything. His wife was home and they didn't find anything to steal. So what these people did was to use knife, and they stabbed his wife palm. Yes, they could not live without leaving a mark. Once a thief comes, they steal, and they make sure that once you notice that they've stolen something, you will feel the pain within you. But now they've come to the environment, but they didn't find anything to steal.
So they had to leave a mark.
Yes, that they've come around. So when he was narrating the experience, I felt so bad, and I was asking him that these grown-ups said they know they get sense, and his reply was like, Joseph, these people not be grown up. They be teenagers, say 13, 14, 15, 16, and they are so rough. They don't, it's like no mercy. They just do anything. So I just felt that, okay, it's a point for me to
change their mindset.
Yes, I really cannot do anything about it, but I can just try my best to go from one school to another to reorientate them. And that was how the event started.
Interesting. And what impact did that make before that time? I know the time was short. You had just 1 year to serve.
Yes,
but what was the feedback like?
Yeah, it was great. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. So
and from then on, you became the public speaking Joseph, and you're still making money with it today. Now let's come to the writing skills because of time. As a writer, you've been at it according to your documentation since 2019, and you just printed it, recently. Do I call you a lazy writer? What happened? Why you stop?
It's actually not easy to put things down, and it's because of the O or SU of we're trying to do different things at the same time and all. So maybe I was a lazy writer, but I think I'm back now.
Interesting. All right, now you, in all of this experience, would you, if you had to take back the hands of time, would you do this over again?
Yes,
if you had the opportunity to change it and still come to work with the Linda KGTV.
No. No, I don't think. I think I'll enjoy this thing that I'm becoming.
All right. So talk about the book. How where is it available? How do we get it?
Yeah, it's available on Amazon. The camera, what is it called? Down the East, a journey through self-realization, and it's on my Geek store.
So this is your first book. You intend, I mean, what are you working on again? Aside even being an author, what else do you do?
Okay, I'm a filmmaker, a public speaker.
Interesting.
And
all of this together. Yeah. So right now, someone is watching you there that might just be getting the next posting to maybe Zamfara State, Kaduna State, and all of that. And we've had people actually sit at one corner and make money trying to, deploy people and all of that. What would be your advice to that young person watching you now concerning where he's been posted to? You might want to talk to them at home. Okay,
so I would advise every person that a prospective corps member that is going out there to enjoy the process. Do you understand? It can be so hard, so tough leaving people that you love behind, but it's just for 1 year. It's just for 1 year.
How can they make the best of it at the end of the day?
Yeah, they should take everyone needs to take advantage of the opportunities that come. And if you think that there's no opportunity around, create one for yourself. Because there was no opportunity for me at Abia State. I had to just create it myself.
Yes, you also need to talk to the government. What are those things that you think the government can tweak concerning that scheme that will make it more beneficial and more comfortable, going through? Because I heard you sleeping under places where there are no mattresses and all of that.
Yeah.
More like you live in the comfort of your cozy Lagos Jaye boy to that. So, I mean, what do you think the government should do?
I think the government needs to make it more comfortable for those corps members going there, because the camping experience can be so terrifying. And many people don't even have the luxury of eating the food on camp because they can just continue stealing. So if you don't even have money, you might not be able to survive the camping experience alone. So
interesting. So I hope that, of course, that message is driven home to the government. Thank you very much, Joseph Adeleke. We wish you all the best and look forward to more books from you. We've been speaking to the author of Down the East, Joseph Adeleke. You might want to get a copy of that book, read through and understand the uniqueness of the Igbos, those in the East, and, the cerebral nature and how the hustling nature and some of the things you learned. I forgot to put that. I mean, how they make money. They can just, they can make money from anywhere, and that's what's unique about them. And also concerning the scheme as Nigerians, of course, that's a very laudable one. We can only work better at it and ensure that it is a good and sustainable scheme at the end of the day. Thank you very much for gracing our book review segment.